Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So, you were saying?
I was saying, I meant to bring up two things. Number one was that my objection to the potential mistranslation or misrecording of the statement is still standing. You asserted that, in essence, if I understand you correctly, that it's absurd because you see these things repeated over and over. What I'm saying to you is that I offer the distinct possibility of a conspiracy, an evil conspiracy. I believe that Paul VI, whether you accept him or not, made an interesting point when he said that the smoke of Satan has entered the church. I think that without a doubt, the signs and the experiences that have happened after Vatican II closed showed that a large number of the people who took allegedly religious vows were not really sincere in their vows. They left the church, quote unquote, they left their vows, their statuses, as soon as they could. A large number of people became raving liberal Catholics. Church attendance fell. Quite a few things went wrong. I think what happened is that the outward sign of the church was sort of an empty eggshell. It had much less of a core than we thought. Now, I also think that some of the more radical, bad priests, Hans Kung and those types, managed to have interesting positions in positions of authority and controlling various bureaucracies. My position is that these people had a large influence on what official dissemination of documents was.
Okay.
And that they have worked malicious effects. Now, that does not mean to say that we deny every single thing we've seen on videotapes. By no means. I'll answer that in a moment if you wish. I do believe that if we believe the videos that we've seen and the photographs we've seen, that John Paul II certainly behaved in improper manners in many times and in many different locations.
Well, maybe I could respond to that. That it is absurd because, number one, what you're saying is that essentially every issue of the official Vatican newspaper is basically engaging in a conspiracy to misrepresent what was actually said. That's absurd. Secondly, I cited the Latin for you in Vatican II, which is available. We have that. Anyone can find it. Okay, where it teaches these same heresies. Okay, and people can just get someone who may know it better than they to translate it, or they can see it there. It's a fact. It's there. Secondly, all of his public actions, which are on video, are perfectly in accord with all of this stuff. We don't even actually need to cite any of his speeches. The fact that heresy can be manifested by deed. St. Thomas Aquinas points out that if anyone were to worship at the tomb of Muhammad, he would be deemed an apostate. Okay, Benedict XVI, it's on video, and there are pictures of it. He prayed in a mosque toward Mecca like the Muslims. That's a fact. We have a picture of it on our website, in our book. Okay, that's an act of apostasy. John Paul II was constantly praying with these schismatics and heretics, engaging in ecumenical prayer services. Okay, Benedict XVI greets them, gives them gifts, okay, exchanges letters of affection, etc. And so their actions confirm that this is exactly what they believe. There's no doubt about it. And furthermore, it's ridiculous. Oh, and also in their very public actions, they frequently cite their own speeches. Like John Paul II will make reference to, this speech or this meeting of Paul VI with the schismatic. And so he's citing the very speeches which you say really don't exist. And so we don't even need to even quote anything. We can just say he kissed the Koran, he holds interreligious prayer services, he expresses respect for false religions. And that's apostasy. He's not a Christian. That's totally and abundantly clear. If you wanted to respond, or I could ask you more questions.
You keep repeating the word absurd. The fact that you declare it to be absurd does not make it absurd. Someday, if you wish, you can read the 800 pages of my own. In case you're not aware, I'm digressing slightly. I was on the New York State Police for approximately 12 and a half years. There were 4 conspiracies to fire me. The reason I know that because in the first 3 of those conspiracies, people informed me what was going on. They told me exactly what the state police was looking for, exactly how they were setting me up and exactly what they were doing, and they said that their conscience was bothering them. The fourth conspiracy, 2 people did this. You can read the 800 pages of testimony in which I was ultimately fired after a hearing. And the point is, if you don't think that's a conspiracy, you don't understand what they are. People testified to the effect that they were taping my conversations, that they put tape recorders on the desk and spoke to me as friends, in which they were trying to get admissions that they could then use against me in the hearing. The point I'm simply making is conspiracies do exist. They do happen on occasion. Obviously, Abraham Lincoln was the victim of a conspiracy.
Well, I mean, we're very well aware of that. We believe in the existence of numerous conspiracies, and the what's going on in the Vatican Church is a conspiracy.
Okay, fine, exactly my point. And what I'm saying is that, I repeat the point, if there is this conspiracy, if there are those who intentionally misinterpret, misput out, misprint, etc., exactly what is supposed to be official documents, then we have a situation not where you cannot, that everything in the official document is discredited or dismissed or accepted, but where charity and justice require that we withhold judgment. Okay? Another point is you have frequently stated, or shall I say used as supports, various opinions from the various saints, including St. Francis de Sales, St. Robert Bellarmine, and St. Thomas Aquinas. I understand perfectly that these men, having official status as saints in heaven, therefore have a certain quasi-authority, but I emphasize the word quasi. Their opinions are not infallible statements. This means that although you may offer them as supportive evidence, you cannot offer them, in my opinion, as conclusive evidence. If I disagree with St. Robert Bellarmine or St. Francis or St. Thomas, that does not put me outside the church, because unless, and this is a key point, unless they were miscopied, they also wrote things that were incorrect. I'm not accusing them of heresy. I'm saying that they might have offered things as speculative positions, which later...
Can I respond to that?
Sure.
It's true that the opinion of a saint on a particular topic is not necessarily conclusive, but it is on this topic, and the reason for that is that it's rooted in a dogma that heretics are not members of the church. And so it's simply an application of the truth that there's one faith in the church, that's something you reject, and that heretics are outside the church, defined infallibly by Pope Eugene IV. So someone cannot disagree with the teaching that a heretic cannot be the Pope, because to do so is tantamount to denying that heretics are outside the church. And so it is conclusive because it's rooted in the infallible teaching of the chair of Peter. And so, but again, we've had the pictures of Benedict XVI in the synagogue. Okay, there's the video of it, reciting the Kaddish prayer with the Jews, okay, taking part in Jewish worship. And I said, these are acts of apostasy, which totally confirm everything that they've been teaching for years. And your argument is not logical. To say that there are conspiracies that exist, that's true, no one denies that. But to say that every single speech that he writes is drastically rewritten, essentially, and has a meaning that he never intended, that is absurd because, number one, he's aware of these translations. We have pictures of him reading the very Lausa Vitor Romana. We cite the Latin text of Vatican II. Anyone can verify it, and his encyclicals, that's available for people, which conforms to these translations. And it's perfectly in line with all of their public actions of apostasy. That is a fact. They accept pro-abortion people as Catholic. We recently posted the video on our website in which you have the, quote, Cardinal of Boston commemorating Ted Kennedy as the servant of Christ. So is O'Malley an apostate for commemorating someone who was pro-abortion, pro-gay marriage? He says he was a Catholic, that he's basically going to heaven, and that he's the servant of Christ. Is that apostasy on the part of O'Malley?
Again, to judge him to have been apostate, I would need to know inside his mind.
No, you don't. St. Robert Bellarmine says, "For men are not bound or able to read hearts, but when they see that someone is a heretic by his external works, they judge him to be a heretic, pure and simple." It's the same way that you conclude that the Protestants you encounter are heretics. They haven't been excommunicated by name. You conclude that they are heretics based on the fact that they do not put themselves in line with the magisterial teaching of the Church. They dissent from Catholic teaching. And so you don't need a statement from Rome saying that Joe Protestant here that I meet, he's outside the Church. Okay? You don't need that. A Catholic with faith who understands the teaching of the Church says he does not accept, he obstinately refuses to submit to the rule of Catholic faith. He is a heretic. That's what the Church has always taught. That's what all the Fathers of the Church teach. That's what Pope Leo XIII says explicitly in Satis Cognitum. And so it's heresy to say that you can accept someone as Catholic. As long as he claims to be Catholic, he can believe in anything, even if he dissents completely from Catholic teaching. That is heresy.